back. Things should work. Yeah, we on streamer mode. Oh boy. We're on streamer mode? Hello? 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 Anyone? Oh wow. The app, okay, actually this new console is not bad. Yeah, sit down for a bit. You good? Hello? Someone chime in? Anyone on the air? Anyone listening in? Need someone to chime in on chat. Yes, I am. Hey, I Ryan Tufts, how are you? Can you hear? Now, this is good that we have you're the first one to chime in for the season. So I need some help. Hey, Anonymous Worshipper, hello. Wait, okay. We have an issue here. This is the first season, and we need to do a mic check. Hey, I Ryan. Hey, Vic Teldo. Need some help. Okay, is the audio good? We need to do a mic check. I want to see which one is better. All right, option one, because I don't think this is, okay, this is option one or option two. Which one is better? This is option two. Option one or option two? Yeah, I mean, Twitch should not have ads if you're logged in. Oh, they sound the same? Really? Okay. Sound the same? One? Okay. But it's loud and clear. There's no audio issues. No audio issues? Okay, loud and clear. Yeah, it's clear. Good, because you know what they say about streaming. Hey, Crispy Nuggets, we meet again. Hey, Swear5136. Hey, Frog. KLY, men, yeah. Tap to allow or deny. Yeah, I'm gonna allow that. Yeah. All right. Uh, okay, so it seemed like the mic is set, but one more thing. One more thing. We're not all set yet. Super silence call. All right, one more thing. Lighting. See how that is. All right, now we have to do a video check. Makes a big difference, lighting, isn't it? Lighting makes, does he make money from ads? Not really, no. You know how much I've actually only received like $10. But now, hey, it goes back to coffee for students in the class, you know. Yes, you do get, I do have coffee for students occasionally, quite occasionally. Hey, now there's a Starbucks, you can buy big boxes of coffee for a special occasion for students. $10. That's a longer conversation for another day. But yeah, I get what you're talking about. All right, folks. It's 4:32. Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome, everyone, to... We're back. We are back on Twitch. You know, we are back on Twitch. Great to be back streaming. I love doing this. For those of you who are new to the course, welcome, welcome. Yes, 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 yes. Welcome. We are now in season number 9 of me streaming my Introduction to Security course from Tufts University to the world on Twitch. Hey, DD Ban. Hey, thanks. Yeah, always good to see you, man. Always good to hear from you. Yep. Yeah, season number 9. Season number 9. Um, and yeah, I started doing this in fall 2020. Loved it ever since. So you may be like wondering, like, really? Like, why do I like this? Why do I keep doing this? I mean, this is 9 seasons for me. And I want to say, for those of you who have tuned in and are taking this course, wherever you are, thank you. My heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you. So you may be wondering, I'm going to start it and explain like why I do this. Why do I stream on Thursdays? And there's a number of reasons why. Hey Brown LP, Baka, how are you? Yes, yes. CS116. Nah, you're not the worst student, believe me. How's your day been? Day's been good. Day's been good. It's always been busy at this time. There's a lot that goes on. But yeah, why do I stream on Thursdays? Like, why do I do this? And there's actually a list of reasons why I still continue to offer the content that I do on Twitch on Thursdays at 4:30, usually for around 10, 11 for 11, 12 episodes. And the first and primary reason is cybersecurity education is still badly needed. Um, Most schools don't even have a cybersecurity course, let alone a cybersecurity requirement in field like computer science. Um, the education piece has been badly amiss for far too long. At this in similar vein as people are still looking for this content. Cybersecurity content is still extremely popular, even up to this day. There's just so much out there. Although there's so much out there, it can be overwhelming for people to navigate. And so, one of the things that I do is try to make the content accessible to everyone out there. Um, so, those are the top, the big two reasons. But the most important one for me, I feel, and why I offer the content that I do on Twitch, open up my security course at Tufts to the whole world, is to democratize the education. Um, there are a lot of people who would love and kill to go to a big name school, but most people don't have 80, 90, like what, $95,000 now. I mean, that's just totally out of reach for a lot of people. So for me to offer this course, it's a win-win for everyone. Is people get the content, but you also have an idea of what you know an education is like if you go to a place like Tufts. Is to democratize the education. And for those of you who actually know me well personally, is I have some serious misgivings in the price of college these days. It's just completely like wrong. I mean, like 95, almost to $100,000 a year. I have a serious problem with that. And for me to make the course open to the world, like, hopefully it's like make an education should be accessible. I mean, that's my strong opinion. Um, Number four, and I'm not afraid to admit this, to say this to everyone, you know, being teaching is a thankless job. Teaching feels like a thankless job. Certainly for many people, they're never going to say that, but it can be a really, really thankless job. But to offer this course on Twitch, or offer the content on Twitch, help alleviate that problem. Um, so it makes teaching a much less thankless job for me, and that's why I personally enjoy it so much, as it makes it a much less thankless job. Uh, Number five, Twitch is, you know, it's not YouTube. One of the biggest differences about Twitch streaming is no one knows if you're really a cat or a dog, unless your usernames say so, like DDBan. Um, most people here, like on the stream right now, and of course you can always feel free to chime in. I do read the chat and I do follow the chat that people like the messages that come in. Um, you know, I can't figure out most of you. Like I can't figure out who, like personally, like is on this stream right now. But I can tell you, it's not only like on Twitch, it's much harder to actually see, to tell like who someone is. But you also are in a room. You also don't know who is in the room right now. Is hey Mo, how are you? Unless like you're Mo, who actually says, hey, I'm Mo, or DD Band, who actually I've known for known for a while. Um, people, unless you say who you are in the username, no one knows if you're a cat or a dog. But also, quite frequently, we have special guests, including like security luminaries and pros that jump in on the chat, and also alums of the course. So the beautiful thing is, no one knows. Not only if no one knows if you're a cat or a dog, no one knows if you're really a learner, a professional. You know, um, in terms of skill level, it feels like it levels the playing field. So people who are trying to learn this stuff, you don't feel overwhelmed. It's like we don't know who else is in this room. Like it could be all learners, it could be like, all professionals, it could be a mix. It doesn't matter. And this is one of the things, and that's the beauty about Twitch. You can't have this on YouTube though, because on YouTube streaming, um, the one of the biggest issues, I think you have to use your real name. So that is some people feel really uncomfortable doing that. And Twitch is of course fun. Last, of course, I have to mention is in terms of education, this removes the physical barriers. This removes the physical barriers to a classroom, to an education. And you can rewatch this often as you want. You can be taking this in Nepal or in Singapore. It doesn't matter. I mean, everyone can watch this. Hey, Captain Kenway, how are you? Um, so those are the reasons why I do this. I still continue to do this, and I look forward to continuing to stream on Twitch for the foreseeable future. And those are the reasons. So, what are we going to do today? And today, I feel, is going to set the tone for the remainder of all the streams throughout the rest of, I don't know, like the dozens of weeks that we have in the season. Today is going to feel a little bit chiller than most of the other weeks. Um, and today the topic is going to be on the command line and the command line interface. Um, it doesn't matter whether you're on Windows, Mac OS, or Linux, there's a command line interface. Back in the days, it was not necessarily true. There was a little caveat: is you couldn't run Linux commands on Windows, but now you can. You can now run Linux commands on Windows by way of their subsystem. So why? Why is today going to be focused on the command line? Particularly, hey Swag, how are you? Yeah, hey Swag. So why the command line? Why is that the topic of today? Well, first of all, it's hands on. Like, one of the things that you'll see from all these Twitch streams is it's all hands on. They're all hands on skill, which we all badly need to, hone on. Whether you're a beginner, a learner, or professional, it's going to be hard to master hands on skills. But the command line, especially Linux and Unix commands, is versatile, give you a lot of productivity. It's also accessible as well too. Um, there may be visually impaired users here, audience here, but the command line, text, always accessible, some way, shape, or form to people who even have like disabilities, and scripting purposes. So that's primarily the reason number one why we got to focus on the command line. Is this versatility, good productivity, accessibility, and scripting. The If you're going to be a cybersecurity practitioner or doing anything in tech, you got to be comfortable with the command line. Like you got to be comfortable with it, like the terminal. Um, Not everything can be accomplished by fancy graphics. In fact, a lot of systems out there don't have a graphical interface with windows and menus and graphics and all that. Most security tools are built on top of other command line tools as well. So, and also a lot of security tools out there are command line based. So it's definitely in your benefit. For those of you who are at Tufts, some of you folks may know this already. I went to Tufts 1998 to 2002, so I was a freshman fall of 1998, and I took data structures, which is CS15, freshman year, fall freshman year. Um, and I came from Windows and Mac and had no idea what the hell the command line was. I had no idea what the hell it was. And so for me, I remember the first couple of weeks was like, damn, I was like deer in the headlights. Uh, but Professor Alva Couch, who's still at Tufts, he's still at Tufts. I want to give a shout out to Alva. He ran sessions on Unix and Linux and the command line terminal for 1 week straight, 5 days a week. You can show up anytime that you want, from like 8 to 10 at night. It was crazy, and they were all well attended. You only need to show up for like one session, like one or five session. And so I feel like for me, I'm following the same footsteps because here we are in 2024. There's still plenty of people who have, who are not comfortable with the command line at all. And so that's what we're going to focus on today. So I'm on Mac OS. Um, I'm on Mac OS, and all I need to do to get started is to fire up the terminal. If you're on Linux, you can just fire up a terminal. If you're on Windows, however, if you're on Windows, it's a little bit different. Now, the good news is Windows now support something called the it's WSL. It's called a Windows Subsystem for Linux. WSL for short. And here it is. Developers can access both Windows and Linux at the same time on a Windows machine. I'm going to paste the link. Oh boy, you gotta and this is, I love the fact that, hey, it's ironically over. Thanks a lot. Yeah, always fun. Yeah, and so for people like Frog, Nan, Navat, hopefully this session will get you started and also comfortable as well. We're gonna use Linux and Unix commands, not PowerShell or not CMD. And the reason is that Linux command, Unix commands are just used so far and wide on so many systems. Even if you're on Mac OS, the terminal is based off of Unix. And a lot of the commands, not all, but um, most of the commands are transferable. That means they work on all the systems. All the, all, I would say all the commands that we will use today, you can use everywhere. Linux on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. There may be some differences in terms of the manual and the output, but in terms of the behavior, it's roughly the same. I also want to give everyone a very stern warning here about the content of this course. Um, Everything that we do, from now on, including labs, they build on top of each other. It's not like you do a lab in the introduction to computer science course where you do the lab, forget about it, move on, then the next lab has to do another covers another topic, and then no one-offs. So everything builds on top of each other. Like you need the skills like today on command line, You're going to need it throughout the whole course. And in fact, some of the content that you will see, if not a lot of the content, you will see next week when we cover network traffic analysis. There is no one-off, so everything builds upon each other. So it's not like, oh shit, I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna, oh, do the lab, forget about it, move on. No, 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 no. This is not how it works. The other thing is, and this is another warning for each and every one of you, it takes decades, if not years, to be comfortable with the command line interface and the terminal. There are still stuff for me. I've been doing this for what, 20 years, 20 plus years, and there's still stuff I'm learning up to this day. There's no way that anyone's gonna master the command line in one sitting or 24 hours. Not happening. Okay, so all I need to do is to fire up a terminal. Yeah, all I'm gonna do is a terminal today. So here I am. Hopefully everyone can see. I just opened the terminal here. What the hell is going on? You may be wondering. Shout out to the man page, Manbane. Hey, hey Anchor. Yeah. Let's say something we know that is not going so well. Yeah, I think you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, a particular soccer team, is not doing so well. I'll just leave it at that. Anchor is a superstar um, uh, from a few years ago. And we talk a lot about soccer still. Hydration important. Okay, so the first thing is, um, well, I like us too, like her too. Shout out to the man page. We're gonna cover that the second thing. But wait a minute, you may be wondering, like, what we're gonna do, what's the first thing we're gonna type in? Well, the first thing is, let's type in, who am I? The who am I command will actually just show you your username. So, my username is, who am I? I'm sorry. My username is mchow on my Mac. Really? So, okay, so my username on this system, on this Mac, is mchow. Is there a way that we can find out, like, more details about what a command does? And the answer is exactly what, us too, the man page. Manual. If I type man, nothing's gonna show up. But man, who am I? Okay, so here it is. You type in man, followed by a command, any command, and it's going to give you a little bit of details about the command. The name of the command, a synopsis, and a brief description of what it is. So who am I? What it is it that displays the user ID. That's all it does. All it does is just display your user ID or your username. Okay? And then, of course, to get out of this man page, you hit the Q. All right. So, okay, so where the hell am I? Okay, so we just did who am I? Where am I? Oh, good. Where am I is command not, where am I? The command is not found. But that's okay, because the proper command of where you currently are, your current working directory is pwd. So on the file system I'm in /users, so I'm currently located in /users with an uppercase U /mchow/documents. So I'm in my documents folder in the mchow folder inside of users. Okay, so that's where I currently am located on on this system via the terminal. Now, if you do man pwd, what it will return is, it will return the working directory name. And it will just print out the path name of your current working directory, the standard output. Okay. I like Rust too. Ah, the programming language? Hit Q. Okay. So for those of you who are completely brand new to this is how the Unix Linux file system works. Okay. There is a directory structure. How a system is structured in Unix/Linux land is like a tree. At the very top level is called the root directory. And the root directory is just a slash. The very top directory, and you can see if I just type slash and then boom, that's it. Is this, I always keep on forgetting, is this a forward slash or backslash? I think it's forward slash. See, it said the slash is a directory. Okay. So, you can change directory. You can move to a different folder. And the way you do that is you do change directory, CD, forward slash on my, okay, forward slash, yeah, thanks. Thanks, Swear 51636. I always forget. If you do CD, which stands for change directory, and then you type a space, and then you do a slash. Yeah. That's a great question. What's the difference between ZSH and Bash? Yep, I can explain that. I personally use Bash, but a lot of Mac, I think Mac OS by default now uses ZSH. Both ZSH and Bash are called shells. A shell, in essence, is a place where you just type commands. However, the behavior works a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to open up Firefox for a second. And I'm going to say, what is Bash versus ZSH? Okay, how to geek is it good? Okay, I'm going to open up this later. I'm going to open this in a new tab. Okay, what is ZSH and why you should use it in terms of Bash? Bash has always been like the default shell of Linux for years, always. For recent, most systems have moved to something called ZSH or Z shell. You can do, for Z shell, you can use features for even plugins and themes as well too. Here it is. Here's the biggest differences. Automatic CD, just type the name of the directory. So you don't even need to type in CD in ZSH. Automatic syntax highlighting for words. I don't get that. Here I'm using Bash. I don't get syntax highlighting at all. And beautiful colors. I don't got that. Like as you see, if you type in ZSH like a slash, you should just go to the directory right away. No, you don't even need to type in CD. You can do plugin and themes and pretty colors and stuff. Spelling correction and auto completion is the thing. Auto completion is wonderful for ZSH. So on a ZSH shell, you can just type in like sudo and it just completes it for you based on your last history. Okay, yeah. ZSH is complete, which is why it's popular. Oh yeah. Bash is not going away. I mean, a lot of the syntax that you can use that you learn on Bash, what I'm going to show you, you can use in ZSH. The difference, the one thing is, ZSH commands, some of the stuff doesn't translate into Bash. Okay, I'm going to post this into chat. This is a great question. What's the difference between ZSH and Bash? I use ZSH. I use ZSH for Kali Linux, but primarily I like to use Bash. And the reason why I like to use Bash, I'm old school. You know, I have a lot of scripts that primarily work for Bash only, but not for ZSH. But all the commands, yeah, I know, you fish, yeah. But we got to get the basics right. We got to get the basics right. Yeah. Yeah, let's come back here. I don't know, I'm going to close that, close the browser out. Okay, so going back here. So if this was ZSH, all I just need to do is just type the slash and it will go to the directory for me. But because I'm on Bash, I have to do cd slash, and here it is. And you notice that the prompt will actually show you sometimes where you are. In this case, my prompt is mothership is the name of my computer, and the slash is the current working directory that I am in. Now I want to do an ls. ls is just to list the files in the current working directory. And you can see at the root level of the system, you have the following files: application, library system, users, volume, bin, cores, dev, etc, home, opt, private, list goes on. So at the very top root directory, these are the folders. On Mac OS, all the users folders, like for example me, is under users with a capital U. On a Unix system, on a Linux system like Ubuntu, there'll be there's a home folder slash there'll be HOME, lowercase h. Okay. Now if I do a PWD for where am I, you can see it's a slash. To navigate to different folders, all you have to do is cd. Well, in this case, I want to go to the users folder. Cd into users. Yeah, here it is. Do an ls, and there are two files in users, shared and me, mchow. Okay, so ls is to list the files. I'm going to cd into mchow, and I'm in my home directory. If I do an ls, I will have, you can take a look, I have application, desktop, documents, downloads, library, movies, music, and this should mirror exactly what you see here. When I actually go to the Finder and go to the graphic interface to see my home folder, mchow, and you can see when I go home, you can see my application, desktop, documents, download, library, music, pictures, TMP. It is. It mirrors exactly the same thing. Oop, just had it up. There you go. It's identical. So we're now navigating the system instead of using our, fingers and trackpad and mouse or whatever it is. Okay. So, okay, this is nice. Now, notice that I've been telling everyone, I've been using a word correct. I've been using the term file. A file can either be a standalone file, like a text file, or it can even be a folder. So you may be wondering, is there a way that we can actually tell if something that is listed is a file, a shortcut, or a folder? And the answer is yes. I'm going to clear the screen. Clear is to clear the screen. Man clear. Yep. Clear is to clear the terminal screen. So PWD again, I'm in my home folder. I'm in mchow. But if I do instead of ls, I do ls space -l. Now you can see file permission look. Now you see the listing look a little bit different. ls -l will do a linear listing of the current working directory, but it will also show you the file permissions as well. And who owns the file, what's the group, the last modification date, list goes on. Now, do a comparison. ls minus l with the minus L option looks very different than ls. So what ls minus L, what we'll do, it will show you file permissions all the way on the left. Forget what this number is. The owner of the file, the group who has access to the file, this is size, and this is modification date. Okay, now let's have an understanding of file permissions. File permissions are these. Something like this. Oh, I'm going to open up a text pad. Something like that. Now, you can see that the first, in this case, the first thing that you see in each and every one of these file permissions is a letter D. The letter D stands for it's a directory. In other words, it's a folder. So when you see a D in the file permission, it's a folder. Then what you do is you break down these of the permissions of the entire file. In this case, these are the permissions of the entire folder. So let's take a look at, let me break this down for you. So the D stands for directory. Now, then you have the RWX, permissions of the user, or the owner, followed by, you can see is a tuple, 3. Permissions of the group, followed by the permissions of others, everyone else. Okay. So, you see a RWX. R stands for read. W stands for write. X stands for execute. Read, write, execute. Okay? So how you read this is, okay, the application folder is a directory, is readable, writable, and executable by the owner, who is M. Chow. That's me. That makes sense. However, you can see that for the group, it's a dash, 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 3 dashes. That means no permission. Everyone out, that means the group, in this case, the staff group, has no access to the application folder. And finally, for everyone else, there's also 3 dashes. That means everyone else, they can't even open the open the folder. They have no access to my application folder. So it's only me, the owner, M. Chow, that have access to the directory applications. No one else can. I do need the browser for a few moments, a little bit later. Read means opening up the directory or the file. Write means that you can put stuff in the folder or make changes to a file. Execute means you can just even open the directory. Okay? So now I am going to show you, do I have a bookmark on Linux file permissions? No. Linux file permissions. This is a good one. Okay. They say the Linux basic permission model work by associating each system file with an owner and a group assigning permission. Okay, the file owner, the group members, and everyone else. Okay, the 3 file permission types apply to every class of user to read, write, and execute. Okay, here we go. And this is exactly what to view the file permissions, use the ls command, ls-l, and the file name. I'm going to copy this and give this to everyone. This is a good resource to use. Okay. I did not review this before the stream today. The first character indicates indicates the file type. It can be a regular file with a dash, a directory, a D. A symbolic link is an L. A symbolic link is a alias or shortcut. Okay. In the above example, it says, okay, here's the above example. It has a dash, RW dash, R dash dash, R dash dash. Means that the file owner has read and write permissions. The group and others only have read permissions. Okay. And here is, all right. And that's a huge breakdown. We'll come back to changing file permissions in a few moments. Okay. But now, can you all see my desktop? I have my desktop here. It's nice and clean. There's nothing in there. And I like to keep my desktop that way. I like to keep my desktop nice and clean. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear. And I'm going to do a CD to the desktop. CD desktop. And I do an ls now, nothing. ls-l, no file. Good. Now, I am going to make a dummy file. Or I can use Vim. Vim, okay, hack.txt. And I'm going to say, thanks, Mini Sleeker. That's it. I'm going to save the file. Okay, hold on. I'm going to write to the file. Also, hello to Swear 5136. Thanks for tuning in. So I'm going to write to the file and quit. So here I am. I use Vim and I created a file called hack.txt. I am also now going to create a dummy file on my desktop using a command called touch. What touch does, well, man touch. Touch will change file access and modification time. The touch utility set the modification and access time. If a file does not exist, it is created with default permissions. Pretty cool. Okay. Hey CISO Global, how you been? How have you been? Okay, so I'm going to use touch CISO Global. Okay, and what is going to happen is, watch what happens. It's going to create a file called CISO Global on my desktop. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never. Okay, and then now watch what happens if I do an ls. If I ls on my desktop, I see 2 files, CISO Global and hack.txt. Now if I do an ls-l, you know that oh, interesting, ls-l will now show the 2 files on my desktop, CISO Global and hack.txt, with not only their file permissions, but also the file size. This 0 means 0 bytes. Right now, the CISO Global file was created at 5/11/1711 here, Eastern Time. Hack.txt was created a minute before, and it has 45 bytes because there are only 45 characters in hack.txt. And both files are read and writable by me readable by the group staff and readable by everyone else. Okay? So now I have two files here, but if I do a ls minus l again, okay, there's nothing. Now, however, there's also another command that you should be familiar with. Another flag for ls is ls minus la. ls minus la, what the A will do, it will show you all the hidden files. Okay? Now, hidden files, take a look. Take a look at the difference between ls minus l and ls minus la. What's the difference? Take a guess what hidden files start with. I'm sure a lot of people have this question always. What's a DSStore file? DSStore file is a file that stores custom attributes of this containing folders such as, okay. So it's a file that stores custom attributes of the stuff in the folder. Okay? So as you can see, as ShadowStringer said, yes, ShadowStringer says, hidden files start with a dot. If you see a file that starts with a dot, it's a hidden file. Okay? Ooh, I got a fun exercise with hidden files in a little bit. Files that start with a dot are hidden. That means they're not gonna show. Okay? So I could actually make a file like CISO Global into a hidden file very easily in a few moments. But every time you do an ls minus la of any folder, you're going to see the files dot and dot dot. The dot also has another meaning. The one single dot, this file, means your current working directory. If I do a cd dot, your current working directory. But if I do a cd dot dot, watch what happens. You go back a directory. So cd dot means your current working directory. Cd dot dot means go back a directory. Okay? So cd desktop, little things matter, cd desktop, do an ls, cd dot dot, you go back. So I'm going to go to the desktop again, and I'm going to clear my screen. Can we actually create a hidden file by adding? Yes, you can. So the Tony TLLN fan, yeah, I'm going to allow that comment. Don't know why. Yeah. So, I'm going to create a hidden file. Okay, yeah. Tony T or... Oh, Tony OnlyFans, so I can see. I'm going to do a touch. Dot safety. And watch what happens. I'm on my desktop. Touch safety 1. Now if I do an ls minus l, not showing. ls minus la. Boom. There you go. So yes, the answer to your question is you can absolutely create a hidden file by just adding a dot in front of a file name. It is a, what do you call security by obscurity? Okay? So now this leads to, okay, now we have two hidden files called dot safety and dot safety one. Can we remove them? Yep, RM. The RM is to remove a file. RM dot safety. RM dot safety. Again, you can hit the up arrow. You can hit the up arrow and you can actually get to your last command that you did. Finger, up arrow, boom. RM safety 1 to remove the hidden file safety 1. Okay. Now you do an ls minus l. Nope. ls minus la. Boom. So there's no difference between a normal hidden but only hidden. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Can I remove the ds store file? Yeah. rm.ds. Oh, I do this all the time. ls minus la. There you go. I can just, so now we have done ls, we've done touch. Hey, what happened if I touch CISO global? Sorry, you can, now, there wasn't, I want to touch CISO global. Ducks, sorry. Watch what happens if I actually touch an existing file. Now if I do an ls minus la again, and you notice that the timestamp, the modification time of CISO global got changed. What happened if I touch .e10? Watch what happened. You ready? Hit fine. ls minus l. No. ls minus la creates a hidden file .e10. Okay. We'll come back to RM minus RF later, but no, we don't want to do that SoCal yet. RM minus RF is to recursively blow up the root directory, which means delete everything on the system. We're not going to do that. Well, not that to an extent. Okay? So here I am. Okay? Oh, since I'm here, and since we're dealing with, I said the up arrow, if you hit up, the up arrow, you go to your previous commands. You type in history, you can take a look at your history of all the commands that you've typed in. Yeah. History. Well, it doesn't give you, yeah, it's one of those core commands, but the history command will just give you a history of all the commands that you've typed in. Clear. Okay. And you can just hit the up arrow and go to your previous command, and go to one of the previous commands. Oh, you can even do a dot, dot, dot. I'm still on my desktop, right? Yep. ls minus la. So let's do a few things. Let's actually do changing file permissions. Okay. So how to change a file permission? There's a couple of ways to change file permission. If you're on a Linux subsystem in Windows and do RM, does it break the entire system? Yeah, it breaks both the it should break both the subsystem and Windows. I'm just gonna leave it at that, Captain Kenway. Yeah. You can try it and let us know. Go for it. You know, it's like a dare. It's like, doing that, the RM minus RF on a slash on the Linux and the Windows subsystem, that basically just right up there with like the Tide Pod challenge, if you folks remember that. Not a good thing. Ooh. All right, changing file permission. Here it is, going back to this document, it says a file permission can be changed using the chmod command. Okay, now there's multiple ways. Only root, the file owner, or user with sudo privileges, sudo, meaning temporary root, can change file permissions for file. Now, the one way you can do it is the first set of flags. You can do it a couple of ways. You can do it by name of numeric, or you can do letters, U, G, O, and A. Okay, U stands for the file owner, G stands for users who are members of the group, all others. Okay, so what I can do, okay, is change mod. I'm going to change CISO global. Oh, change mod UGO equals read write execute. Watch what happens. If I change mod UGO equals read write execute, oh, that works, and I do an ls minus L, ooh, CISO global can be read write and executable by anyone in the world. Anyone. Yeah. You can also do change mod U equals read dash dash. Oh, change that CISO global. And I do an ls minus L, and you can see CISO global is only readable by me, but read write executable by the group and by others. And then I can just set the group and the others to nothing. Now I'm going to clear, and that means CISO global, the file, should only be readable by me. Okay, but watch what happens. Okay, watch what happens. I am also going to, there is another way you can change the file permission. So far, if I did history, I did change mod, and I used change mod space either the U, the G, or the O, and then followed by an equal sign, followed by, you know, the specific permissions. Okay, read, write, or execute. I personally like use a numeric method. The numeric method is, you know, I use this symbolic method much more than letters. Okay, when using numeric mode, you can set the permission of all three user classes, owner, group, and all others at the same time. The permission number can be either can be a 3 or 4-digit number. When 3-digit number is that the first digit represents the permissions of the file owner, the second was the group, and the last one is others. So each read, write, and execute, write, read, and execute permission have the following numerical value. 4 is for read only, W is to write only, X is for execute. However, you do something called addition. So if you want read and write, it's going to be the 4 plus 2 is what? What's 4 plus 2? 6. If you want all three permissions, is 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7. Okay, so if you want read, write, execute, it's going to be 4 plus 2 plus 1, 7. If you want read, execute only, it's 4 plus 1 is 5. All the others like read, execute is, well, yeah. Okay, so I am now going to do an ls minus L, and now I'm going to change mod 400 hack.txt. So this is going to make hack.txt only readable by me. No permission for anyone else. Notice the difference. Now, if I try to vim hack.txt, ooh, you notice something? When I open up a readable file, changing a read-only file, can't do it. Can't do it. So I can't even make modifications. Oh. Hey, get me out of here. There we go. There you go. So now I'm going to change mod instead of 400, 600, so read write by hack.txt, ls-l. Watch what happens if I now do vim, or we go back up, vim.txt. Do it, ADEUTS 03. Okay, and now if I do an ls minus LA again, you notice that .e10 is still there. I'm going to do an rm.e10, ls minus LA again, and I just deleted the hidden folder, the hidden file.e10. But you also notice that hack.txt went from 45 bytes to 62 bytes. Okay, clear the screen. If you want to see the contents of a file, there's many ways you can do it. You can do cat to concatenate and print files. So if I do cat hack.txt, you get the text file. Okay, you can do more hack.txt, or you can do less hack.txt, which is the opposite of more. You can go backwards in less. You can't go backwards in more. Okay? So, yeah, cat will just spit out everything. Let me give you a long text file. Smashing the stack, the txt file. Nope, I want the txt file. Is there a long text file that I can download? Oh, this one. This looks good. Save page as downloaded.txt. I'm going to save this to my desktop. There you go. I got download.txt. Watch the difference. Now if I do an ls minus l, okay, download.txt is 9,936 bytes. Read write by me, readable by everyone else. So if I do cat downloaded.txt, watch what happens. Spits out the entire file. Yeah. Clear the screen. More downloaded.txt. Start at the top. Hit the enter key. Scroll down. Yeah. Can I go up? Oh, I can go up and more. And if you want to just jump, hit the space bar. Okay, less hack.txt. Ooh, oh, less downloaded.txt. What's the difference between more and less? I always like, what's the difference between the differences between more, less, and most, and okay. You can use all the tools by passing it. Okay. More is okay. More is one of the oldest terminal pages. Okay. Originally, more could only scroll down, but now we can. Okay, all right. So I wasn't wrong, but now we can use it to scroll up one screen at a time. Okay. I guess there's really no difference now. Okay, one of the reasons why less was introduced was to allow backward movement line by line. It had a lot more commands that, okay, less and more are practically identical now. Okay. Hey, what happened if I did this? I want to download Crying Jordan. The picture. I'm going to save this image as crying.jpg. Why did I do that? So you may be wondering, what the hell, what's my motivation on downloading a cryingjordan.txt? Yeah, less is more. Okay, so here I am. I have doing ls, 4 files. Okay, the crying meme is 210,000 bytes, like 210 kilobytes. But watch what happens when I do cat crying.jpg. Binary data. Okay, more crying.jpg. Crying.jpg is a binary file, see it anyway. Yeah. Oh, I did. I said yes. That's what happened when you try to look at a picture in the terminal. Oh, very important command. I'm going to give you folks a jump on the first lab. The first lab is working with the command line. Okay. Actually, we did number 1 already. What command could you use to find out what type of a file it is? The file command. Man file. File determines a file type. Watch this. If I do a file command, file of crying.jpg, you can see it's a JPEG file. Okay. File hack.txt, ASCII text. File downloaded.txt, ASCII text. File CISO global, empty. Alright, so wait a minute, you say, wait a minute, doesn't a file extension actually is a dead giveaway of whatever the file type is? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily, folks. Let me go to the course website, let me download a reading material. Let's download a disaster foretold. This is a great one. Save the link as, I'm going to save this as a PDF. Not need this anymore. File, a disaster foretold. And that's a PDF document. Alright. I'm going to do an example of this where file command is really useful. Because what happens if you actually try to rename a file but change the file extension? That's not going to fly. Alright, I need to talk about directories. How you make a folder is this. Make dir Twitch. And you notice I just make dir is to make a directory. Remove dir, rm dir, is to delete a directory. Make dir fun times. Okay. So I just created a folder called fun times. mv, move, is to move a file. Source to the name of the file to the destination. So I can move downloaded.txt. Oh, actually, hold on. Before I do that, I'm going to do an ls fun times. ls minus l fun times. Nothing in the fun times folder. Move downloaded.txt fun times. ls minus l fun times. So I move downloaded.txt into the fun times folder. mv cat.txt fun times. mv CISO globex fun times. Not going to work because CISO Globex file doesn't exist. Okay? You can actually do MV star, move everything into the fun times folder. The asterisk means wildcard, everything. Watch what happens. Bing! Well, of course, you're going to get this error warning that is, renaming fun times is an you can't move fun times into a fun times folder. It makes no sense. Okay? Fun times is we're doing ls minus LA now, and fun times is a folder that is read, write, and execute by me, read executable by everyone else. Okay. So I am going to do something crazy here. I'm going to do an ls minus L on fun times. And you can see the file permissions of the folder fun times as read, write, execute by me, read, execute by everyone else, and also by the group. But I can do a change mod of 400 fun times, and watch what happens. Fun times is read only, but if I try to double click on it, watch it. Oh shoot! Fun times cannot be opened because you don't have the permission to see the content. Damn! I locked myself out of the folder. Permission denied. Why? Look at the file permission. D is a directory, but it's only readable. A folder, in order to be opened up, it needs to be executable. Okay? So I'm going to change mod fun times to be 500. ls minus L. Alright. So you can see my fun times directory now is read and executable, but I can't write anything to it. CD fun times. Now it works. And if I do an ls minus LA, I have a listing of all the files. But what happens if I try to do a touch Chaz, hey Chaz, hey anonymous worshipper, touch Chaz to create the file in this folder, permission denied, it's not going to work. Go back up a directory, ls minus L. Now I'm going to change mod 700 fun times. Now, if I CD back to fun times, and I actually go back up and touch Chaz, that works. File permission, very important. Okay? So, there is also another hack for you. There is also another hack. MV is also used to rename files. So if I rename a underscore disaster underscore foretold.pdf to a underscore disaster underscore foretold.doc, and I do an ls minus L, I just rename the file. Watch what happens. So my system now thinks that a disaster foretold is a Microsoft Word document. You can see the icon here. And it even says it's a Microsoft Word document. But you can't fool the file command. Watch what happens when I try to run the file command on a underscore disaster underscore foretold.doc PDF. Neat trick. Strings will print out all the human readable strings of a file. Ooh. Strings. Crying.jpg. All the human readable strings in the crying meme. Alright. Okay. How about this one? I'm going to clear the screen. Now you can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 files in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But watch what happened. What was I going to say? Oh, yes. What if I try to RM CISO Global, because CISO Global is a readable file. Is that possible? Yeah, why not? That works. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a hidden file right now. I'm going to do touch. What if you set it so you can't even read it? Which file? Oh. Yeah, I can't even read it. Yeah. Let's do the crying meme. Change mod 000 crying.jpg. Okay. If I do a cat crying.jpg, permission denied. Okay, but I'm going to go back a folder. Okay. Change mod 000 fun times. Just a directory. Oh, we got that little icon here, that little mark. I can't even, if I do cd fun times, nope. Change mod 700 read write execute fun times, fine. This is what I wanted to show you. rmdir fun times. Can I blow away the entire directory like that? Nope, you cannot blow away a directory that is not empty. You cannot run rmdir. So you have one or two options. Option number one is to delete all the files individually in this folder. Did I create a hidden? Nope, I did not. You have to delete all the files individually, all 5 of these here, or you go back a directory and you do an rm minus rf, the name of the folder. So if I do an rm minus rf fun times, it's just going to blow up the entire folder. So you don't have to delete every single file individually. Watch what happens. Ready? rm minus rf fun time should just delete the entire folder. Boom. Don't need to empty out fun times first, then you do an rmdir. Rm minus rf is going to do a recursive delete of everything. Now this is why rm minus rf is on the slash is super dangerous. Don't do it. Do an ls minus la again. Okay, my desktop, I have my DS store and my DS store and localized hidden folders. But now I want to give one last warning for each and every one of you. And this is not good. One of the things about the command line is not good is white spaces. So if I actually make dir CS116, this is not good. White spaces are frowned upon on Linux and Unix land. Watch this. I'm going to hit the enter key, and it creates not one, but 2 folders, CS116. Spaces are not good. If you want to create a folder, with a space, or a file with a space, then you need to do make dir, wrap it around text, CS space 116. You see the difference. White spaces are not good. So what operation will be influenced by the read permission of the folder? We have only seen that the CD is only influenced by the X permission. That's correct. CD is influenced by the X permission. Like a folder need to be executable in order for you to. So what operation will be influenced by the read permission of the folder? I am going to. Oh, and if you do an rmdir of CS116, watch what happens. This is why white space is so confusing. It will blow away both folders, CS and 116, but not the one that starts with a space. to rename a file, you can just do move CS116 into CS. This is why you use underscores. To CS116. No. Alright, so to answer your question, what operation will be influenced by the read permission of the folder? ls minus LA. We're almost out of time. So I'm going to change mod 400 CS116. So the folder is only read only, but I can't even open it. Okay? So what operation will be influenced by the read permission of the folder? Okay? Change mod 700, no, 500. Let's do 700 CS116. Now we're back to square one. But wait a minute. I'm going to go CS116, CS underscore 116, vim zen.txt. I'm going to write a simple text here, save it. Folder now has zen.txt, right? Yep. Alright. But what happens, I think this is what you're asking, Zen Yiwu. I think this is what you're asking. Change mod CS116 to be UGO equals U equals not readable, writable, and executable. I mean, it's a little weird. So the directory now is CS116. Huh. Is it, what's readable and right? Oh, 300. Okay, change mod 300 CS116. That should give me readable and writable. Oh, interesting. Okay, here it is. CS116 is only writable and executable. CD CS116. I can't even do an ls. So hopefully that answers your question, Zen Yiwu. If you don't make a folder that is readable, you can't even see everything. Does it mean that if the file is readable, you can use cat to check the content? Yeah, if a file is readable, you can use cat to check the content. Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Okay, change mod 700 CS underscore 116 again. CD CS 116. Yeah, so if you can't read a file, it's not even going to do a listing properly. Yeah. If a file is readable, you can use cat to, even if it's not executable. Yeah, hold on. Change mod 400 zen.txt. Clear. ls minus l. Zen.txt is 16 bytes. It's readable. Cat zen.txt. Hello, everyone. But what happened if I do a change mod 000 zen.txt? Now, if I try to do a cat, well, let's double check. No permission, can't even read it. Watch what happens. Boom. Not even executable. And look at that, folks. I get everything that I needed to do today. We can go on and on and on forever with this string. rm minus rmdir cs116. Directory's not empty. Blow away my desktop. Boing. We are done for today. Thanks for joining, everyone. Oh shit, we're over time a little bit today. But next class, next week on Twitch, my favorite, packet analysis. Anchor, take care, Wotex. Take care, everyone.